Alright, welcome back, and this time we are on Shaman. So, Shamans, they have Hex. Hex is going to be really good for all the cards in this set. But Shamans, they have other things. Let me go back here. Let me show you what they have. Yep, this guy. He's back. This guy basically enabled Control Shaman because of how powerful he is. Walking Fountain. And you got like other control tools, like you got Hagatha's Scheme here. If we go over to Saviors of Uldum, you get the Totem package here, and you get Weaponized Wasp, which is actually a thing now because the Rise of Shadows lackeys are in. If we go over to the Son of Dragons, we got some, like Lightning Breath is still in, Squall Hunter is still in. Let me see here. Cumulo Maximus is still in. Storm's Wrap, like these are okay cards, but they're still in. Galakrond's Awakening gave us Eye of the Storm. That's still in. So Shaman's got some pretty powerful control tools and pretty powerful late game tools going into Ashes of Outland. Alright. And there isn't really much of a theme. There's one theme, and I'll go into it. We'll just start off here. And here's the theme. So Marsh Spawn. So Battlecry, if you cast a spell last turn, discover a spell. The if you cast a spell last turn theme. So Arena is very much a neutral focused mode, which means you're not going to get that many spells. Like you'll get 5 maybe, but you're probably not even going to get 10. So this effect, if you cast a spell last turn, discover a spell, is not going to go off commonly. It'll go off in some games. It deserves a few points, but it's not going to go off commonly. So, for example, this is a 3 mana 3/4. It's an elemental, and that's pretty much what it is. You give it a few points. So that would be a 3-star card. Okay, we move on. So, Serpentine Portal. This is a 6-star card. So this is Flanking Strike, but it costs 1 mana less, and it overloads you. And it has a little bit of RNG in here. So here, deal 3 damage, summon a random 3-cost minion, overload 1. Absolutely insane. Like, if they put overload 3 on here, just to complete the portal theme, I would still say that this is a good card. But no, this is a great card here, just because, like, deal 3 damage, you can kill any 2-drop or 3-drop, you summon a 3-drop of your own. Just absolutely insane. 6-star card. Not much needs to be said. Timic Reflection, give it a minion +2/+2. If it's totem, summon a copy of it. So basically, it's a +4/+4 buff to only totems. That's not great. Now, where it works is if you play this on a totem, you get the totems generally have like a bonus effect. Like if you play this on a healing totem, you get 2 healing totems. If you play this on an evil lackey totem, you get 2 lackeys per turn. So if you play this on Fire Flame Tongue totem, then you get the buff, and the buff goes on multiple things, and you can have something in the middle that gets +4. So, like, the effect is not... It's good enough that I can say it's a low 3-star card, but it's very situational, and, like, yeah, you can put it on other creatures, but you really shouldn't. Like, unless it's, like, a perfect trade, you really shouldn't. Alright. Vivat Spores, give your minions Death Rattle, resummon this minion. Alright, we've seen this effect before. We see this effect. Like, Hunter has Soul to Forest, which is give your minions Death Rattle, summon a 2/2. So, better than Soul to Forest, because you're probably going to put this on things that are better than a 2/2. And so the problem is that you really need a board. You really need probably at least 3 things to justify this. And that's not entirely easy to get, especially on the turn you play it, like for 4 mana. So I would say this is ultimately, it's a high 2-star card, but it's a 2-star card. These effects just never really do all that much. It's an AoE Ancestral Spirit. That's like, and that's okay. Alright, Shattered Grumblers, same thing. If you cast a spell last turn, deal 2 damage to all minions. So, if you cast a spell, wow, really powerful. If not, it's a 5/6. It's going to be a 5/6 a lot more than, like, I'm giving points for it, but it'll probably be 4/6. It'll be a 4/6 a lot more than it'll be a 4/6 that blows up the entire board. So this 3-star card, it's good. Like, the effect will go off. It's not really that easy to predict it to go up. Like, let me rephrase here. AoEs are extremely situational. So you may want to play an AoE one turn and not want to play an AoE the next turn. And that's doubly so for dual-sided AoEs. So you're not going to be able to guarantee, one, that you want to play, that you can cast a spell to set this up. Two, that when it's time to set this up, that you'll want to do it. And that's really what hurts it. So ultimately, 3-star card. The Lurker below. Deal 3 damage to an enemy minion. If it dies, repeat on one of its neighbors. So I assume that this effect persists, and that if the neighbor dies, it will keep on going like a rolling fireball. But yeah, this is Fire Elemental with 2 less health, but a much more powerful effect. So easy 6-star card there. Like, you play Fire Elemental for the battle cry and for the big thing, and this is like a better, as I said, this is a better battle cry. And it 6-3 and 6-5, there's difference, but not that much. Bogstruck Lacquer. I just realized that Blizzard changed my thing again from mana. I'm just gonna go through this. I'm annoyed that it keeps changing, and I didn't even do anything this time. All right, Bogstruck Lacquer. Transform adjacent minions into minions that cost 1 more. So this is a Master of Evolution. Was a premium card, and it was a 4-mana 4/5 that did this effect for one thing. This does the effect for 2 things. Now, on curve, Master of Evolution much better body, and on curve you're probably only going to hit one thing anyways. In the late game, this becomes a lot better than a Master of Evolution, but still, it's the evolve effect on 2 adjacent minions, and that is really good. I think this is a 4-star card. I think this is a card you want, and I think this is a card that's going to go off a lot more than you would expect. Like when I say go off, I don't mean you're just going to hit 2 things, but that you're going to hit things that are really small, but can transform into really big things when evolved. Bog Spine Knuckles. After hero attacks, transform your minions into random ones that cost 1 more. 4 mana 4/2 weapon is good, so for 5 mana, you get basically 2 evolve procs. The first evolve proc is probably going to be weak, but the second evolve proc is going to be real strong because you can just set it up. So yeah, here you got a 5-star card. Just really good. It's a powerful weapon, has a powerful effect. You want to draft this. Torrent. Deals 8 damage to a minion, costs 3 less if you cast the spell last turn. So here, unlike the other cards, like the, what is it? The value of the card is baked into like the initial effect. And the bonus is just a bonus. So, like, if you compare it to the, if we go back, let's see, where are we? Shadowed Grumbler. Like, the value of the card is based on the battle cry, if you cast a spell last turn. Like, that's what, without it, the card's mediocre. Same thing here, Marsh Spawn. Discover a spell is really strong. That's where the value is baked in. So here, the value is really more baked in on the actual effect, on the deal 8 damage to a minion. So if it costs 2, that's good, but it's a bonus. It's not like the reason you draft the card. You draft the card because it's 5 mana, deal 8 damage, and that'll kill about 80% of the things that are played. And that's why this card is a 4-star card, because it's a really good card. And then finally here we got Lady Bosch. 3 mana 4/3, spell damage +1, Death Rattle, Shaman Bosch Prime into your deck. So here we saw similar in Mage. It had a 3/2 spell damage. So here a 3 mana 4/3 spell damage. So like above average card. Bosch Prime. Spell damage +1. Battle Cry. Draw 3 spells. 7 mana 4/5. Spell damage +1. Battle Cry. Draw 3 spells. Reduce their cost by 3. I said before that a Comic Prime was the worst. This one might actually be worse. Because there is a decent chance by the time you draw Bosch Prime that you do not have 3 spells left in your deck. Or if you do have 3 spells left in your deck, that the spells are going to be cheap spells that are not going to benefit from the discount. And a 5/4 is a really, really, really weak body for turn 7. So like you need this effect to go off for it to be good. And Like, even if this effect goes off, even if you get 3 spells, even if you reduce their cost by 3, like we've seen like Hexlord Malacross in Mage, which is basically a 7 mana, I think it's 7 or 8 mana. I want to say 7 mana 5/5 that gives you 3 or 4 cards. And that was good, but that was not great. Like if you compare it to the other primes, even if this goes off fully, it's not nearly as game breaking as the other primes are. So Bosch, I don't give her any point. Like I barely give her any points for it. She's a 3-star minion, and the Bosch Prime is probably makes your deck, debatably makes your deck worse. So yeah, it's a 3-star card, easily the worst of the primes. All right, and that is it for Shaman. After this, I will be back with Warlock, so I will see you guys then.